Gabine Zoom salot in Edlarot Kudun Zinnig Dene Yati podcast Nurtana Dlila this early morning episode, morning show Laulini then see Nanont Asa but no Baho Asa Danulti Hult Jano but guess who's on Saskatoon now they're called towards the Wollaston Lake, Axe Lake, I believe. Yeah, Hatchet Lake, yeah, up north. But Edward Benoanie Huliadred, Dene Education Gathering, Nunt Aussie Saskatoons in June 15. Um, yes. Welcome everybody. Dogots in Aussie. Throw it in the comments. Let me know. See Willis Janvier who shaped in Taylor's tours in Laloche, Saskatchewan, and Clearwater River Dene Nation band member his and doing Zinniga Treaty Fort Territorials. Noal Huntati Dana Dliaza Masicho. Ja, der Edward du dat u Dennis utlinet I nanin del has a quid, school called delu konti see base networking net's a day pretty much a gathering und eigan bahal yes so questions what's in it, don't be shy to throw them in the comments. You can ask. He's with me here today. Eid abonul de Edlanet Edward.
Hey, it's going good. How about you, Willis?
Didn't get to 18. I had this reaction, I think to raw fish, when I was up north,
Oh,
and finally it's going away. So yeah,
oh my goodness.
yeah, I'm alive. So mas soon doing Zinnig Edwards. I don't think that I didn't gathering guy in LTZ. I'll just ask you to introduce yourself to the audience here.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Edward Benoanie. I'm originally from Hatch Lake or Walston Lake. If you don't know where that is, it's 800 kilometers north of Saskatoon. But I've been in education for, let's say, 11, 12 years now. And so now I'm working as a First Nation Métis and Inuit consultant with Greater Saskatoon Catholic Schools. And so it's in Saskatoon. It's a school division that has about 50 schools, over 50 schools. And yeah, so I work with a lot of principals, superintendents, and students and teachers and staff throughout the whole school division. So that's basically what I do.
Nezu. Ku I school hal allen si dlent seen it silja dan u yeah First Nations u Inuit Métis bas dlent seen it silja.
Well, so how it works with this team is that the school division, we have a First Nation, Métis, and Inuit learning community. So there's about there's quite a few consultants here. Basically, we work together, and what we do is that we have separate portfolios. The portfolios that I have are Dene partnership, which is what I'm currently doing right now with this assignment. The other one is treaty education, basically providing how do you say it, consulting services for teachers and working with principals. So what it looks like is I go visit schools and I provide some support with First Nation, Métis, and Inuit content when it comes to treaty education, because the school division we're actually one of the trailblazers when it comes to the school division, because when it comes to truth and reconciliation, so with my position as a consultant, I go out to visit schools and provide some education for teachers and also for the students, and how the school community can be part of the one of the calls to action from the Truth and Reconciliation. And so it's pretty busy, and I'm working with principals. I do professional development for teachers and also for principals, and yeah, that's basically just my job in a nutshell. It's very busy.
Yeah, it sounds very busy, do 11 years on say education ally not in nila. Oh boni Thursday don't you seek another not a change over the years don't do education then I mean then the does not and now toward I made students but what kind of change have you seen over the years?
There's actually a lot of changes. So what I mean by that is even us as students when we're in schools before, like in high school or middle years and elementary, there was not a lot of resources that were supported, or what I mean by that is accessible for teachers when it comes to treaty education. Even for myself too, as a consultant, I learning so much as a first, not only as a First Nation person myself, but as an educator of how important it is for treaty education for all the schools, because today and age we have a generation that's overwhelmed with a lot of information and the past history that happened in Canada. And so what I'm doing with my position here as a consultant is that there's a huge shift of a lot of awareness that's happening when it comes to, the unmarked graves that happen, and also the truth and reconciliation that has been established a long time ago. And there's a lot of shift to focus on how we can help First Nations students. And so when it comes to the school division here, we're providing that kind of support for all educators. And so, and it comes to that, and then so now with this here, when it comes to the Dene people, the population is growing here in Saskatoon as well, because 20% of the students are self-declared Indigenous in the school division. And so right now what we're trying to do with the school division is that I'm given an assignment. My superintendent, he's one of my supervisors, he gave me this project to work on, which is to how the school division how can I help to bridge the relationship between the Dene communities and the school division, and how the GSCS can provide some support for the Dene students here in Saskatoon.
Yeah, Nazoo, one of the things, see, university in Australia, I go to FNU Regina, and Dene class to delay, so I had to take Korea. I mean, nothing against Anaya Tia, but Dennis Utlina, the Aristlis Oceanwood and the Sibenaris Neoli. I wish I had access to that, even down south here, so that was I was in that position, so I know what you're talking about there. During a Dene education gathering, nunt Asi, June 15th, Yazan Walhul needed to see about again, that's a DSC.
Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, when it comes to this event, it's about 2.5 hours. That's what we scheduled for. And so it's on June 15th from 6 o'clock to 8:30. It's going to be in Saskatoon Inn. So right now I'm in the process of getting this stuff arranged. And so right now we have a program that's happening that I'm still working on. So basically, it's a gathering for all Dene families, all Dene educators, and all Dene students that want to have a collaboration from different areas, because I'm from the far north, which is in Wollaston, and there's a lot of students here that are from the Athabascan area, and also from the west side too, from your area. And so what I want to do is to just have a nice casual. It's kind of like a community gathering where you just mingle with everyone, and also talk about your language, where you're from, and we have educators too that will be networking together. My superintendent is going to be there as well, and I'm going to have some couple guests that'll be there as well. And so within this network, it's going to be we're going to have a couple keynote speakers, which is you as well. And I'm really excited for your part, because I've heard some awesome stuff about your with your podcast, with the amount of influence that you have to the social media and that platform that you have. I'm really interested to see how important it is with the language that we have here, and how important it is to be, because us Dene people, we're starting to be recognized on the map now. And so now moving forward with this event is that I want to make sure that the students and people over there are going to be inspired and to feel proud of who they are as Dene people. And so that's where we're going to come in and talk about how your upbringing with life happens with where you are today. And also, I'm going to have Rosalie Tisani Burseth. She's actually one of the she's one of the trailblazers. She's also from Wollaston Lake as well. And so she has been, so what I mean by trailblazer is that from how the community has grown in Wollaston Lake, from having a trap line, and also it was like a little cabin that they have, and also that's where the school started, which is land-based obviously, and also had a couple of teachers there. And so she was one of the educators out there that progressed from that to a school that opened in the late 80s and another one extended to, I believe it was the 90s. And so she's been part of the process of how it evolved to an education which is happening today. And she has been a major influence with this journey. And all the educators, they know her very well, and also the administrators. And I also want her to kind of talk about the Dene education in general and how it started with things, and also with her achievements that she has been doing as well when it comes to education, because she's right now I see Martina. Hi Martina. She's from my home. She's from my hometown. So she's one of the prime examples of the education industry, or the education field, I guess I can say. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to hear from her story and how important it is for this gathering of how and then at the end, it's kind of like, how is the GSCS school division going to provide some support for Dene students? So that's where the student voice is going to be coming in, and that's where educators' voice are going to be coming in, influencers like you, and also other professionals that are going to be there. So I'm really excited.
Nezu. Glaft Dena Delo under it, Saskatoon. Didn't know New Saskatoon in?
Yeah. It's going to be in Saskatoon in. I will provide some information. Maybe I'll give you the link for you to share. Okay. But right now I'm advertising this within the school division. I'm giving opportunity and time for students and teachers to sign up. And so the limit is 100 people only, but I hope the turnout's going to be good, because right now I have about 40, 50 people that sign up already, and that's just within the school division. And so once I share this link to you, maybe you can advertise it as well, so you can register. All you got to do is put your name and whether I think there's two questions. And then the second question asks whether if you're coming or not. And so once you do that, I get the information, and I'll be closing the forums as soon as it hits over 100. So hopefully the turnout will be awesome, because I'm really, really excited for this event.
Nezu, good stuff. I'm already nervous to speak in front of 100 people. No, I'm just kidding. It's very good. Must see Cho for the opportunity as well. Adrit, Dene education gathering, networking at it. Nena, but how important is it to just start this Ganikarin Nilat? Dene is kind of becoming on the map, which I love to see. I always encourage and promote that anywhere. Dennis Usline. The other day I actually had a Cree woman. She bought one of my clothing, and she's like, "Oh, Dene," and then they say something in Dene. So we see that connection happening now, as before. Is so how important is it to even within the school, as networking, or even just with people in general, how we're all we're like awake and being noticed, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you. So the networking is, I want it more like a community feel and more relaxed kind of environment, where, because I know there will be some dignitaries that will be there, but I want to make sure that the people, like, there are going to be mothers, there's going to be aunts and uncles, fathers, there's going to be elders there too. And so it's going to be a family kind of event. And what I do hope is just for everyone to kind of mingle around, because I know Rosalie herself, she knows a lot of Dene people from the north, and also from your area too, the west side. And what I want to see is just to kind of have a conversation together, and also collaborate, just have a discussion around how the school division, as I said before, is going to what shall we do when it comes to us educators? How are we going to provide some support for the Dene people? It could be anything about the Dene program. It could be also initiatives, or it could be also about just building relationship in general, because since the pandemic happened, there has been a lot of disconnection from the communities. And so I hope this event that happens is just reconnect, and also just to build relationship, and how the school division is going to move forward to support Dene people. So there's that. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, and that's good stuff. It's always It makes me happy, you know. It's just, it's something good to have that Dene Sutlin is showing up, and then somehow have access to the language. Dene identity boss, we struggle, don't like far north at the Athabasca area, and nani delde, probably get lonely, mental health. Kondi see a boss,
Mhm.
kondi see a boss, mental health boss, yeah. Grande yol tilliu dant then it's end out neo Lizzie.
Yes. So what I mean by that when it comes to mental health is I've been working as a principal up north in Wollaston for 3 years. And so that was 2018 to 2021. And for the 3 years up north, and as an educational leader, past experience over there, it's one of the number one topics to talk about all the time, and number one thing to prioritize, which is mental health. And so I've been an advocate for the kids from up north, and well, whoever's watching from up north, I like to kind of say hi to the students that I used to work there. No, it's very important because you can't provide support to the community unless you support yourself first. And so this stigma of mental health is I don't want it to be perceived as a negative thing, but just to kind of build awareness of just understanding yourself and how can you help yourself mentally, because um, as an educator myself, there are some times where during the pandemic as well, which was another hitter as well, it kind of it gave a lot of a burnout to the teachers too, because the pressure was very intense when it comes to the pandemic that happened, the isolation that happened with things, and how mental health it really deteriorates self as well. And so what I'm trying to get to say is that mental health is very, very important for self, and you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And so it's very important to have that mental health to be the number one priority. And so that's kind of the reason why as well when it comes to with my education, that's my passion. I work with a lot of kids, and yeah, mental health is a big thing for me.
Mm. Nezu, it's also Noachani Base identity, you can't see it all plays a part for sure. Edward, there, university, you can't see neither at school, ha, yeah. Te denedint ala I know dena serinct on balatia you respond but te denedint how important is it na ya tiek unlia instead of putting English first to think
Mhm.
that you're going to go ahead in the Western education world.
Yeah.
The core, the roots of Denesushine ya tiek unlia. How important is it?
That's a really actually it's always a conversation that I have with my community. Actually, my dad always makes fun of me. Why do you always speak English all the time? It's like, well, it's like, Dad, I got to give you this reality here. I moved out of Wollaston Lake since I was 17, and throughout my time at the time too, is I was mostly speaking English as well at the time still, and a little bit of Dene, mostly Dene. But what I noticed with my experience is that as soon as I moved out, so basically that's half of my life. Right now, I'm 33 years old, and so just transitioning to an urban setting, it's a huge number one. There's culture shock, transitioning, learning the basic life skills, and then going out there living on your own. With all those things, and then getting the education. And it's still how to say when it comes back to your question about the importance of the Dene language and the identity. Yes, it is very important, and yes, and I'm still working on my language too. But I understand more than what I speak. Like I can sit down when I hear an elder speaking or tell a story, I understand 90% of it. But when it comes to the language itself, it's kind of hard to kind of carry the conversation. And so back to my point when it comes to the importance of language is that we need to give the support for the young ones of revitalizing the language, because as you made a really good point before, when it comes to when you're in a westernized type of institution where education is number one thing and at the same time the language is not there, um, that's a very good point. And so what I want to do here is with my position myself is number one, they need to be proud of who they are first and to know where they're coming from. The reason why I'm saying that is because you're always going to be giving back to your community. When I was in education, when I was pursuing for a degree in education, when I was like 17, finishing at 21, I never thought I wanted to go back home because there was a lot of, when you're a teenager, you just kind of have this like, I don't like my res, I don't want to go back home kind of thing. But it's funny now that the reason why I'm here today is because of my community and because that's where I'm from. And so I've been giving back to the community for almost 10 years. And also, I've been working with a lot of First Nation students in Saskatoon too. And so when it comes to the Dene identity, it's very, very important because once you're ahead of yourself in the road with things in the future, your community is always going to be your home, and it's always too good to remember that because that's where you're from. And so once you have this, this pride that you have as a Dene person, regardless of the challenges, regardless of the negative stuff, you still have to accept first acceptance to yourself, and also be proud of who you are and how you're going to give back to the community and share that same mentality to the people. I feel like I'm rambling, but
No, Nazula, I didn't. Yeah, that's I myself was in the same boat too. Six, no, not. Yeah, 17 Segula lost Aussie Yao, and then didn't really, I moved to Fort McMurray and barely went home. And but now I go home more, kind of reconnect, not not all the time. I and and I get to see her, and so it's very good to have that for sure. Language boss it do nowadays. One of the things that I have learned, see, I this is my and this comes from a young lady. She said, you won't laugh at me when I asked her to say something in Dene so she can win a giveaway. And we tend to correct Dennis instead of trying to help. Do Another dele yet hibase see the change in everything is changing, the words might change, and atlanets in dele from north, east, west, south, then don't maybe a new dictionary konti see base to kind of update words tlani then don't just go with the times, I guess, eh?
yeah, and thanks for acknowledging that when it comes to the Dene language. It's kind of bringing me back to with myself as well, because we grew up as Dene people in urban settings. And when it comes to Dene resources, it's really, there's not a lot out there. I can say there's a lot, but when it comes to relevant resources that you said, with the different languages, with different dialects, it would be nice to have that too. And also, there could be some potential, someone could be out there too, maybe the younger generation that could develop the software of how to revitalize the language, right? So there's so many technologies out there with things with that. And when it comes to back to the school division here, I would like to see more access to resources, especially when it comes to Dene content. Final, or that's a very important person of that's the reason, like she's the reason why we exist today, right? And she's been the peacemaker between the Crees and the Dene people. And so back to this, uh, when it comes to this network, I want the educators to put their heads together and at least spark a conversation, and also get to know people, and building connections. Because as a Dene teacher myself, if I were to go to this event, I would be very excited to meet other Dene educators out there, and then we could exchange contact information and just exchange some resources, because I know there's some awesome Dene educators out there that have so many good resources when it comes to the stories, when it comes to the language, when it comes to the history and everything. And it would be nice to have that kind of collaboration together. And so that's kind of the reason why I got this assignment, is to build that relationship and see how GSCS can provide that kind of support and initiatives for the students here.
Nezun, good stuff. I hope a lot of people do show up. It's good to Dene gathering. If you just that's what you said. You just want, it's a Dene gathering.
Yeah.
None of that has happened. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's still a lot of people in the city, but anybody that wants to travel. on down to Saskatoon, June 15th, Keza. And where else can people get information, Edred?
The right now the information is still just internally within the school division, but
Okay.
once this is launched with this podcast that we're doing here, I'll share the information with you after. Maybe you can share it on your page. I have a poster with me that I can send you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bar scan, there's a QR code scan that you can do with your phone. All you gotta do is just scan it, and then it opens up the internet for you. You just enter your name and then click yes or no to RSVP. Also, I want to show you some things here. I actually did some shopping yesterday. There's going to be some door prizes available. So I got some gears. I've also got some Bluetooth speakers. I've also got some sweaters, and I've got a, let's see, ring light. I believe it's called a ring light. Yeah.
Yep.
So awesome prizes to give away. All I got to do is just register, and then to attend. There's going to be a feedback form as well, and there's so door prizes, lots of inspiration, lots of networking, and it's going to be awesome.
Cool. Dene it's phone alert in the info the number.
My number is 306-961-4524. It's a PA number. I had that since I moved to PA back in 06. What's that?
Everybody goes to PA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's on a date. So Edward and Nesse, then Hayatini aren't in a bananus alu, and that's all I got for today.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. And whoever's watching, hello. I miss Wollaston and hope to see everyone soon. But yeah, thanks so much.
Send me dry meat in it.
Send me dry meat on Rice Air.
Masicho Edward Benoanie and another day at Lana.
Okay, thank you. Talk soon. Bye.
Alrighty, salot in a kui Edward Benoanie at Dilat Dene Education Gathering nunt asi June 15th. Sets in information send a lot. I'll post it. He said over 100 people max and Nissan, so he's gonna close it out at if he gets more. But yeah, it's gonna be good. And do networking boss Dennis Ushina Shanin Delu. Also the put in a ban like Adalan Nasi the not day on the sun. Ashka alla siadere din hadatu then I go there it's a diolisi. Yeah, the question, it's in it 306-961-4524. Edward Benoanie, but Anfuna Sade, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Myself, I'll be one of the speakers there, and also MC this. Yeah, so Masi Cho. It's next week, I believe. Oh, it's only the 31st, so 2 weeks from now. If you're in Saskatoon area, I know it's during the week, eh? During the week. Yep, Wednesday, Kesa. It's gonna happen. So I mean, maybe nahin danadala now to if want to take a day off last year, maybe we'll stream it. Maybe I'll set up the camera and you'll be able to watch it. Who knows, eh? So any questions done with then, don't Sinunt Ade Dene Education Gathering, or even a Dene Gathering. I wonder if there's going to be one somewhere. I know Tlahui Ani that's it in a nation, Calgary Yoga, few years back, before I even knew they were Dene or anything, eh? So, if there's one happening, maybe somebody is planning on it. Let me know. We'll chat about it. We'll get it out there and, get it going. I would love to attend a Dene gathering for sure. Dok SC. And yeah, so Wollaston ka danu ade Send dry meat. Wally World, Nana the Wollaston. Nidara Tulu. I mean, Dar hell. Oh, man. No, not again. Not driving, anyways. But il tioned a rise air guy. Man, it's not cheap. It's cheaper to go to Vegas, I think. I don't know how you guys do it, but my hat's off to you guys up north, Um, that's why I say, Dennis Utlinen not dates or just we get through, and it's very cool to see. So yeah, what do you guys think, Edrit? Dene gathering base education that I not usig ani tazi I dene gode bazu or even altnede. We always say dene gode with you, but a lot of maybe my generation, I guess, the we're now parents and u sig an ideal it doesn't only need to be in school settings. I mean, it's very important too because Aniko Dila Edward, then I go there and night day, especially from the far north, where you're not exposed to much. I know I was like that when I was a kid, but not boring nial yao lisi, even in our own communities. The reason I asked Edward to eat, Dene Dennis Hullinet, I corrected it. Yeah, I always think about it. It's a quasit. I think how it's Birch Narrows Dene Nation. And, it was something like Abine Zoo, something like that. The Henia to win a prize, eh? And, you won't laugh at me, Henny. Now, that one young lady, Duhu, I always remember, I always talk about it anytime that I'm able to speak somewhere. It affects one young lady. Who else do you think it affects? Probably not even yeah, then I go to the Hinilu. There's probably older people too that didn't have the chance beya tiedit aiha, you know. So it is very important, I believe, and then a lot of things in this is how you say it or this is how no it's just you know it's just the region it's like that when I go to when I've been to Lagbroshena Hiyao and you know almost the same T dialect that are out but to the region some things that it's different than myself but we're able to have a conversation easily so da say easy dene dazi deno at neno it's die and ye dial and I not did son it's in daylight or just somebody to get it going. I think it would be beneficial another day and to some more resources henny like Edward at you do like 11 years on education allein nai dat usig an il tau and doing it isig and other. So let me know what do you guys think. That would be amazing to have Denny gathering to share resources, to share contacts, to support each other, especially in education that is so isolating as Indigenous teachers. Speaking of my own urban experience. Yeah, it's I just think about kind of because I don't know anybody's other story, so I can only relate to mine. You know, I was a bit upset when I couldn't take Dene in the university because, well, they probably said, okay, it's too far. But they offered other indigenous languages, so why couldn't they do it there? or even make me have access to the Prince Albert campus so that I can take it. Now, I wasn't too happy. Lonnie then saw someone who was younger, just in high school, just nobody liked them around. Hey, if there was a number, Tatatsan Funa Lyoto, to reach out to somebody, then not desa, how many that you can just call and say, hey, no hayatia, dlanent, what are you doing? Dalineltia, sabara liela, ani a. So those are the things, then and don't uben resnila, derigaya tizi ben resnila, because then neyatia dene thade pornisi dene ayan we think in dene, that's just the way it is. So then I go there, just younger people, or even people that didn't have, the chance to speak it. Just having that outlet, the resources, I don't lead the more it would be the better. And so anytime Dene content no it's in there, put it out there. You'd be surprised, honestly. And just anything, a story or share whatever you have for everybody to see. That's it. And it's going to be a good day because we got to have a guest, Dune Zinnig, Edward Benoanie, once again. 306-961-4524. Any information or in it is on June 15th. When he sends me the link to register, I will post it, and then you can go from there. So there will be door prizes as well. And so that is it. Doon gabin dane no baral yawn leo doon ya dolya te nichts yazanja. Sa agole nichts it's kind of a bit chilly, eh? Sa ganon de la zidi. Hishal le ut ola. But anyways, doon zinnig no baral yawn leo salot in a. And, Gabinde, I'm going to have Alan Adam. Same time in the morning. So join me tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. with Alan Adam. And Masi Chona Hosi Willis John via Hushe in Telas Tours in Lalash, Saskatchewan. Here, Water River Dene Nation band member Heslio and Dune Zinege Treaty 4 territory as he Noalun Tati Dana